Clock and grace lay shining in the after rain light gold. A thin and trembling shimmer, tracing stories never told. The pavement held the morning like a mirror, learning truth. And the breeze still smelled of rainfall with the innocence of you. I stood beside the lamppost where my doubts once felt like chains, where the weight of all my choices settled heavy after rain. But the light that broke the silence warmed a softness in my chest, like the day itself was whispering, you've survived, now find your rest. In the morning light breaking through rain on clock and grace, I felt my soul return to place. Every sorrow I tried to chase faded in that golden space, and the old storms still show their fate. The thunder holds no lasting trace in the light through rain on clock and grace. A cyclist passed behind me with a rhythm slow and sweet, sounded like forgiveness humming underneath my heartbeat. And the sunlight through the raindrops cast a shimmer, thin and kind, turning bruises into lessons I could finally leave behind. The organ swelled behind me like a truth bow, soft and warm, while guitar notes trace the quiet that survives the hardest storm. I breathe the wet blue stillness till it settled in my bones. Sometimes morning after rain reveals the strength you thought unknown. In the morning light breaking through rain on clock and grace, I felt my soul return to place. Every sorrow I tried to chase faded in that golden space, and the old storms still show their face. The thunder holds no lasting trace in the light through rain on clock and grace. My soul returned to place. Every sorrow I tried to chase faded in that golden space, and the old storms still show their face. The thunder holds no lasting trace. In the light, the rain on Clark and Grace. As the sunrise widened gently and the street began to glow, I felt the calm I'd long been missing, waking slow, waking slow. And I stepped into the morning with a heart no fear could chase. In the light that breaks through rain on Clark and Grace. Lincoln Avenue lay quiet in a breath of rising blue, a soft and silver mist that made the whole street feel brand new. The raindrops on the awnings caught the morning's gentlest light, and the echoes of the night storm slowly vanished from my sight. I walked where deep confusion used to knot my weary mind, where the pressure of old memories kept me scared of what I'd find. But the blue mist rising upward brushed a calm across my chest, like the day was softly saying, son, you've given all your best. In the blue mist rising from Lincoln Avenue after rain, I felt release from all my pain. Every fear that left a stain lifted in that cool domain. And though the past still calls my name, its pull grows faint in morning's frame. In the blue mist on Lincoln Avenue after rain. A bus rolled by in silence with a hum both low and kind. Sounded like the quiet rhythm of a healing heart of mine. And the streetlights caught the raindrops with a shimmer thin and true, painting peace along the places where my sorrow once blew through. The organ hummed behind me like a vow so warm and deep, while guitar notes traced the coolness where my tired thoughts would sleep. I breathed the rising stillness till it settled in my bones. Sometimes mist becomes the veil that lifts the weight long overgrown. Avenue after rain, I felt release from all my pain. Every fear that left a stain lifted in that cool domain. And though the past still calls my name, its pool grows faint in morning's frame. In the blue mist on Lincoln Avenue after rain. As the sunrise edged the rooftops and the mist began to fade, I felt a new resilience blooming from the truth I'd finally made. And I walked into the morning with a heart less tight, less strained. In the blue mist rising from Lincoln Avenue after rain. Yeah, do you need? Wicker Park lay quiet in a glow of gentle gold, with puddles shining softly like a truth the night foretold. The bricks along the alleys held a shimmer thin and bright, and the breeze that moved the treetops felt like morning made of light. I stepped along the sidewalks where old fears had left their stains, where the weight of silent heartache lingered heavy after rain. But the gentle gold reflecting in the puddles at my feet felt like calm returning slowly with a rhythm warm and sweet. In the gentle gold reflected in the puddles of Wicker Park, I felt a new flame strike its spark. Every shadow from the dark softened in that glowing arc, and though old wounds still leave a mark, they fade beneath the daylight's lark. In the puddle gold of Wicker Park, a shopkeeper swept the doorway with a pace both slow and kind. Sounded like old wisdom humming softly through my mind. And the sunlight kissed the raindrops on the benches where I stood, turning grief I used to shoulder into something understood. The organ rose behind me like a breath of warming air, while guitar notes traced the shimmer on the memories I wear. I breathe a quiet brightness till it settled in my bones. Sometimes puddles hold the truth that long and lonely nights postpone. softened in that glowing arc, and though wounds still leave a mark, they fade beneath the daylight's lark. In the puddle gold of Wicker Park, as the sunshine widened softly and the wind turned fresh and free, I felt a gentleness returning, like the calm I hoped to see. And I walked into the morning with my heart no longer stark, in the gentle gold reflected in the puddles of Wicker Park. Broadway held a softness in the after rainlight blue, with morning steam arising from the pavement, warm and true. The storefronts caught the quiet with a glimmer soft and kind, and the echoes of the rainfall drifted slowly from my mind. I stood where tired choices once had shaken up my chest, where the noise of old regrets had pushed my patience from its rest. But the blue steam rising upward eased the trouble in my bones, like the dawn was softly saying, you don't have to walk alone. In the blue morning steam rising off Broadway after rain, felt release from hidden strain. Every fear I tried to tame softened in that gentle frame. And though the past still says my name, its voice grows faint in morning's claim. In the blue steam of Broadway after rain, a bus hummed down a roadway, the rhythm slow and warm. It sounded like the steady healing, blooming quietly after a storm. And the sunlight grazed the raindrops on the windows where I gazed, turning dim and broken heartbeats in a calm that left me raised. The organ glowed behind me like a vow both soft and sure, while guitar notes trace the coolness I'd forgotten couldn't do. I breathe the rising stillness till it settled in my bones. Sometimes steam becomes a sign of peace, your wounded heart home. Felt release from hidden strain. Every fear I tried to tame softened in that gentle frame. And though the past still says my name, its voice grows faint in morning's claim. In the blue steam of Broadway after rain. As the sunlight climbed the rooftops and the blue haze slipped away, I felt a quiet strength returning in a fresh and tender way. And I walked into the morning with a mind no longer strained. In the blue morning steam rising off Broadway after rain. Diversey lay shimmering in the line of broken gold, a trail of glowing puddles like a story freshly told. The asphalt held the sunrise in a ribbon thin and bright, and the breath of fading raindrops caught the edges of the light. And I walked where heavy memories once had tightened in my chest, where the ache of long regret had kept my confidence repressed. But the golden streaks along the road moved softly at my side, like the dawn was singing gently, let your burden slip and slide. In the golden reflection running down Diversey Parkway, I felt my darker thoughts give way. Every doubt from yesterday softened in the morning sway, and though grief still shades the day, its whole grows faint in warm display, in the gold that runs down Diversey Parkway. A passing car sent ripples through the puddles at my feet. It sounded like the quiet rhythm of a heartbeat turning sweet. And the sunlight on the storefront glass laid brilliance on my skin, turning losses into chapters I can finally stand within. The organ rose behind me like a warm, forgiving breeze, Diversey Parkway. As the sunrise brightened fully and the wet street learned to dry, I felt a softer kind of strength returning through the sky. And I walked into the daylight with a hope I couldn't sway, and the golden reflections running down Diversey Parkway. Addison met Southport in a sweep of curling blue, a fog that rose like memory from the night the storm came through. The rooftops let off steam, gentle breaths of silver light, and the pavement kept the quiet, like a dream that learned to ride. I walked through faded echoes where my fears once led the way, where the pressure of old heartache made the dawn feel far away. But the blue fog's curling softness eased the tightness in my chest, like the morning whispered softly, leave the battles, choose your rest. In the blue fog curling between Addison and Southport, I felt my burden drifting on. Every war my heart had fought softened in the cool it brought, and the old memories still report their voices fade in fog's transport. The blue fog thick on Addison and Southport. A shopkeeper unlatched his door with motions calm and clear. Sounded like resilience, breathing close and drawing near. And the light on dampened windows cast a faint and tender glow, turning jagged aching stories to a peace I wish to know. The organ hung behind me like a vow both slow and true, while guitar notes trace the coolness, rising thin and drifting blue. I breathe the fog soft, quiet, till it settled in my bones. Sometimes fog becomes a veil that shields your heart from broken tones. I felt my burden drift to naught. Every war my heart had fought softened in the cooler broad, and the old memories still report their voices fade in fog's transport. In the blue fog, thick on Addison and Southport. As the sunrise burned the mist off, and the quiet turned to day, I felt the weight I'd held for years begin to gently drift away. And I stepped into the morning with a strength I can't distort. In the blue fog, curling between Addison and Southport. Bucktown wore a halo in the morning after rain, a golden floating shimmer easing gently through my brain. The rooftops breathed the sunlight with a glow both thin and wide, and the pavement held reflections like a truth I couldn't hide. I walked where heavy choices once had settled in my chest, where the shadows of my worries kept my courage from its rest. But the golden haze above me brushed a calm across my sight, like the quiet voice of morning saying, you'll be alright. And the golden haze floating above Bucktown after rain, I felt release from rooted pain. Every sorrow, stubborn stain lifted in that soft domain. And though the past still calls my name, its pool grows weak and golden frame in the Bucktown haze after the rain. Cyclist rolled beside me with a rhythm slow and warm, sounded like resilience humming softly after storm. And the sunlight through the haze drew a shimmer on my skin, turning wounds I used to cradle into places I could mend. The organ swelled behind me like a vow, while guitar notes trace the sunrise on the storms that I've come through. I breathed the rising brightness till it settled in my bones. Sometimes golden haze reveals what your hardest night postpones. In the golden haze floating above Bucktown after rain, I felt release from rooted pain. Every sorrow stubborn stain, lifted in that soft domain. And though the past still calls my name, its bull grows weak and golden frame in the Bucktown haze after the rain. Lifted in that soft domain, and though the past still calls my name, its bull grows weak and golden frame in the Bucktown haze after the rain. As the sunlight spread more certain and the morning found its tone, I felt a calm I'd long been seeking, settling steady in my own. And I walked into the daylight with a peace I can sustain. In the golden haze floating above Bucktown after rain. Belmont lay in silence, with a rainlight early blue, dripping from the rooftop, in a calm returning truth. Pavement shone like silver, stretched beneath the waking day. And the echoes of the storm's retreat kept gently slipping away. I stood where old confusion once it settled in my chair, with a weight of restless heartache left my spirit dispossessed. But the blue rain light dripping slowly eased the trembling in my bones, like the morning whispered softly, you don't walk your path alone. In the blue rain light dripping down Belmont's empty street, I felt my scattered pulse retreat. Every tried to be, softened in the cool and sweet. Though the past repeats its beat, this rhythm fades in morning sheet. In the blue rain light on Belmont's empty street. A single car rolls slowly with a Humboldt low and kind. Sounded like a quiet truth I tuck away inside my mind. And the street lamps kiss the raindrop, with a shimmer thin and bright. Turning grief I long had carried into softer morning light. The organ hum behind me like a vow I'd half forgot, while guitar notes trace the places where my sorrow once had fought. I breathe the drifting coolness till it settled in my bones. Sometimes dripping light reveals the ache you're finally letting go. In the blue rain light dripping down Belmont's empty street, I felt my scattered pulse retreat. Every fear I tried to be softened in the cool and sweet. Though the past repeats its beat, this rhythm fades in morning sheet. In the blue rain light on Belmont's empty street. As the sunrise warmed the shadow and the droplets thinned away, I felt a sense of quiet healing, waking gently into day. And I stared beyond my silence with a heart no more incomplete. In the blue rain light dripping down Belmont's empty street. Damen stood there quiet as the gentle sun came through, a thin and warm in brightness, cutting softly through the blue. The puddles on the pavement held reflections small and bright, and the steam that rose in ribbons felt like softness meeting light. I walked where old frustration once had kept my courage still, where the choices of my younger days had bent me to their will. But the gentle sun returning eased the heaviness I bore, like the morning whispered softly, you don't have to hurt no more. In the gentle sun returning over Damen after storm, I felt my broken edges warm, every fear that took its form softening that golden swamp. And though the past still calls a norm, its voice grows thin in this reform. In the gentle sun on Damen after storm. A shopkeeper unlocked his door with motion slow and kind, sounded like a healing rhythm drifting through my tired mind. And the sunlight through the raindrops draped a shimmer on my skin, turning long forgotten burdens to a peace I let come in. The organ hummed behind me like a breath from deeper years, while guitar notes traced the warmth dissolving long collected fears. I breathed the rising brightness till it settled in my bones. Sometimes gentle sun brings truths your darkest weather postponed. Storm, I felt my broken edges warm, every fear that took its form softened in that golden swarm. And though the past still calls the norm, its voice grows thin in this reform. In the gentle sun storm. As the daylight spread around me and the last of shadows broke, I felt a kindness in my chest that rose with every breath I took. And I stepped into the morning with my heart no longer torn. In the gentle sun returning over Damen after the storm. Lincoln Square lay glowing in a blue after rainlit haze, a soft and shimmering quiet settling slow along the ways. The whetstone caught the daylight with a silver tender gleam, and the whispers of the morning drifted gentle as a dream. I walked where hidden worry once had bruised my every thought, where the doubts I never spoke of tied my better self in knots. But the blue afterglow rising eased the tightness in my chest, like the dawn light softly saying, son, you've done your very best. In the blue afterglow rising through Lincoln Square's whetstone, felt my troubled thoughts dethroned. Every ache I'd claimed as own softened into lighter tone, and the old ghosts still call and moan, their voices fade in morning zone. In the blue glow on Lincoln Square's whetstone, baker cracked his window with a warmth both slow and sweet, sounded like resilience humming underneath my heartbeat. And the sunlight brushed the cobblestone with brilliance faint and kind, turning long unopened memories into peace inside my mind. Like a vowel soft and sure, while guitar notes trace the coolness where my faith could re-endure. I breathe the misty stillness till it settled in my bones, Sometimes afterglow reveals the truth your restless night postpones. In the blue afterglow rising through Lincoln Square's wet stone, I felt my troubled thoughts dethroned. Every ache I'd claimed as own softened into lighter tone, and the old ghosts still call and moan, their voices fade in morning zone. In the blue glow on Lincoln Square's wet stone, as the brightness gathers slowly and the street embraced the day, I felt a gentleness returning in a strong, persistent way. And I stepped into the moment with a peace I'd never known. In the blue afterglow rising through Lincoln Square's wet stone.
Ravenswood lay shining in a breath of morning gold, with steam along the rail line, curling gentle, curling bold. The gravel held its warmth like a memory turning sweet, and the puddles by the station caught the sunrise at my feet. I stood where silent heartache once had pressed my spirit down, where the echoes of my past mistakes had kept my courage drowned. But the gentle golden steam rising slowly through the air felt like dawn was softly saying, you've survived what brought you here. In the gentle golden steam rising from Ravenswood after rain, I felt release from hidden strain, every sorrow's quiet chain softened in that warm domain. And though the past still sighs its pain, its whisper thins in golden vein, in the steam that lifts from Ravenswood after rain. sounded like forgiveness, drifting easy through my mind. And the sunlight on the steel ribs cast a shimmer thin and true, turning jagged, worn-out memories to a calmer shade of blue. The organ breathed behind me like a vow, both warm and deep, while guitar notes traced the light where my regrets once learned to sleep. I breathed the rising brightness till it settled in my bones. Sometimes golden steam reveals the weight your aching heart postpones. Gentle golden steam rising from Ravenswood after rain, I felt release from hidden strain, every sorrow's quiet chain softened in that warm domain. And though the past still sighs its pain, its whisper thins in golden vein in the steam that lifts from Ravenswood after rain. As the sunlight grew more certain and the morning found its tune, I felt a warmth I'd long forgotten, settling gentle, settling soon. And I stepped into the daylight with a heart no longer strained. In the gentle golden steam rising from Ravenswood after rain. Milwaukee Avenue lay resting in the dawn's blue quiet shade, a stretch of softened shadows where old worry used to fade. The storefront glass was fogged in with a tint both calm and cold, and the whetstone kept the secrets that the morning light retold. I walked where long confusion once had led my steps astray, where the echo of old choices kept my brighter self at bay. But the blue dawn shadows lying soft along the waking street felt like truth approaching slowly, with a voice both warm and sweet. In the blue dawn shadows lying soft on Milwaukee Avenue, felt my restless fears undo. Every storm I battled through opened in a gentler view, and though the past still wanders too, its weight grows faint in morning's hue. In the blue dawn shadows on sounded like the gentle healing drifting through my weary mind. And the sunlight through the shadows cast forgiveness on my chest, turning sleepless night confessions into something laid to rest. The organ swelled behind me like a valve, both strong and low, while guitar notes trace the contours of the truths I'd come to know. I breathe the blue-lit stillness till it settled in my bones. Sometimes shadows hold the lessons your trembling spirit postpones. In the blue dawn shadows lying soft on Milwaukee Avenue, I felt my restless fears undo. Every storm I battled through opened in a gentler view. And though the past still wanders too, its weight grows faint in morning's hue. In the blue dawn shadows on Milwaukee Avenue. Fears undo. Every storm I battled through opened in a gentler view. Though the past still wanders too, its weight grows faint in morning's hue. In the blue dawn shadows on Milwaukee Avenue. Sunlight crossed the rooftops and the street began to wake. I felt a peace I'd long been seeking, blooming gently in its ache. And I stepped into the morning with a hope both firm and true. In the blue dawn shadows lying soft on Milwaukee Avenue. Logan Boulevard was glowing in a twist of golden rain, a curling stream of sunlight running soft through everything again. The trees were dripping slowly with a warmth I understood, and the pavements shine like stories washed and polished into good. I walk where hidden heartache once had rooted in my chest, where the quiet weight of sorrow made my better days feel less. But the golden rain light curling through the boulevard that day felt like morning whispering softly, let the hurt be washed away. In the golden rain light curling through Logan Boulevard, I felt my spirit soften hard. Every wound that left me scarred faded in that gentle guard, and though shadows still bombard, their voices lose their old reward. In the golden light of Logan Boulevard, a runner's steps tap lightly with a rhythm calm and sweet, sounded like renewal humming underneath my heartbeat. And the sunlight through the branches cast a shimmer thin and true, turning all the heaviness to something warm and soft and new. The organ glowed behind me like a truth both warm and deep, while guitar notes traced the echoes where my worries used to seep. I breathed the curling brightness till it settled in my bones. Sometimes rainlight wins the path, your restless spirit never homes. In the golden rain light curling through Logan Boulevard, I felt my spirit soften hard. Every wound that left me scarred faded in that gentle guard, and though old shadows still bombard, their voices lose their old reward. In the golden light of Logan Boulevard, as the sunlight widened softly and the breeze turned warm and clear, I felt a steadiness returning in a way both strong and near. And I walked into the morning with a heart no longer barred. In the golden rain light curling through Logan Boulevard. Ravenswood lay silent in a hush of misted blue, a drifting veil of coolness pulling night into the new. The raindrops on the headstone held a shimmer faint and kind, and the hush of heavy history felt softened in my mind. I walked where all regrets once kept their shadows in my chest, where the echoes of past choices tangled tightly without rest. But the bloom is drifting slowly, ease the burden of my bones, like the morning whispered gently, you're no longer walking alone. And the bloom is drifting over Ravenswood cemetery. I felt my heart grow less wary, every story I would carry softened in that quiet prairie. And though the past remains contrary, its grip turns thin, its pull less scary. In the blue mist over Ravenswood cemetery, a single crow called softly from a branch above my head, sounded like the subtle truth that not all ghosts are meant to dread. And the sunlight through the vapor cast a glow so cool and light, turning pain I used to fear into something touched by right. The organ breathed behind me like a vow both warm and low, while guitar notes trace forgiveness through the drifting morning glow. I breathe the blue lit stillness till it settled in my bones. Sometimes mist becomes the mercy that your quiet soul postpones. I felt my heart grow less wary, every story I would carry softened in that quiet prairie. And though the past remains contrary, its grip turns thin, its pull less scary. In the blue mist over Ravenswood cemetery, as the sunlight opened softly and the coolness slipped away, I felt a calmer understanding forming gently with the day. And I stepped back toward the city with a spirit free and airy. In the blue drifting over Ravenswood Cemetery. Uptown glowed in silence as the clouds began to break. A streak of early sunlight sliding warm across the lake. The wet street held a shimmer like a promise turning true. And the rooftops caught the brightness in a shade of tender blue. I walk where deeper heartache once had anchored in my chest, where the weight of sleepless seasons held my weary thoughts oppressed. But the golden break above me eased the trembling in my bones, like the morning whispered softly, you don't face the day alone. In the golden break, in the clouds above Uptown after rain, I felt release from quiet pain. Every fear I tried in vain softened in that warm refrain. And though the past still leaves a stain, its edge grows thin and golden vein. In the light above Uptown after rain. A bus rolled by in silence, with a hum both low and kind, sounded like acceptance, drifting steady through my mind. And the sunlight on the brickwork cast a glow so faint and sweet, turning aches I used to shoulder into strength beneath my feet. The organ swelled behind me like a vow bow, strong and warm, while guitar notes traced the clarity left after any storm. I breathed the rising brightness till it settled in my bones. Sometimes golden breaks reveal the truth your weary heart postpones. uptown after rain. I felt release from quiet pain. Every fear I tried in vain softened in that warm refrain. And though the past still leaves a stain, its edge grows thin and golden vein in the light above uptown after rain. As a cloud line opened wider and the day regained its tune, I felt a warmth I thought I'd lost, returning gentle, returning soon. And I stepped into the morning with a hope I can sustain. In the golden break, in the clouds above uptown after rain. Irving Parkway quiet in a hush of fading blue, a calm that spread like mercy through the morning coming true. The pavement breathed out coolness from the rain the night before, and the lingering of silence pressed its kindness at my core. I stepped where old confusion once had shaken up my chest, where the storms inside my heartbeat never seemed to let me rest. But the blue hush stretching softly down the road before my eyes felt like dawn softly showing all the peace I'd failed to prize. In the blue hush stretching over Irving Park after rain, felt my breath grow calm again. Every doubt that left a stain softened in that cool terrain. And though the past still aches its claim, its whisper fades and hushes rain. In the blue hush over Irving Park after rain. A single car rode slowly with a tone both low and warm. Sounded like resilience waking gently after storm. And the morning light reflected on the leaves beside my feet, turning things I feared to face into something mild and sweet. The Our guitar notes trace the stillness in a shade of softened blue. I breathe the quiet coolness till it settled in my bones. Sometimes hush becomes the voice your restless spirit never hones. Stretching over Irving Park after rain, I felt my breath grow calm again. Every doubt that left a stain softened in that cool terrain. Though the past still aches its claim, whisper fades and hushes ring. In the blue hush over Irving Park after rain. As the sunrise crossed the treetops and the shadows melted slow, I felt a steadiness returning in a place I'd failed to know. And I stepped into the morning with a heart no longer strained. In the blue hush stretching over Irving Park after rain. North Avenue lay glowing as the sunlight spilled its gold. A wash of warming brightness that the quiet street unrolled. The puddles breathed out shimmer like a truth I long to see. And the morning held a softness that felt tailor-made for me. I walked where indecision once had tangled up my chest, where the storms of restless thinking made it hard to find my rest. But the golden shine across the lane ease tension in my bones. Like the morning whispered softly, you've been walking through unknowns. In the golden shine, spilling over North Avenue after rain, I felt my scattered thoughts regain. Every fear that left a stain melted in that warm refrain. And though the past still shows its strength, his voice grows faint and golden grain in the gold on North Avenue after rain. The street cleaner rose slowly with a hum both low and kind. Sounded like forgiveness drifting lightly through my mind. And the sunlight on the window cast a brilliance thin and true, turning all my hidden heartache into something I outgrew. The organ glowed behind me like a vow both warm and deep, while guitar notes traced the brightness where old shadows used to creep. I breathed the golden stillness till it settled in my bones. Sometimes sunlight shows the truth your restless spirit postponed.
Golden shine spilling over North Avenue after rain. I felt my scattered thoughts regain. Every fear that left a stain melted in that warm refrain. And though the past still shows its strain, his voice grows faint and golden grain in the gold on North Avenue after rain. As the daylight widened gently and the street regained its tune, I felt a quiet strength returning, like a promise kept too soon. And I stepped into the morning with a heart that could remain. In the golden shine spilling over North Avenue after rain.
Armitage lay breathing in the morning drift of blue. A veil of softened coolness running quiet through the view. The sidewalk shone like silver with the remnants of the rain. The quiet hum of passing cars felt tender, felt humane. I walk where heavy choices once had pressed against my chest, where the weight of unmade courage left my hopeful side suppressed. But the blue driver rolling downward eased the trouble in my bones. Like the morning whispered softly, you're not walking this alone. In the blue morning driver rolling down Armitage after rain, I felt release from hidden strain. Every doubt that left a stain softened in that cool refrain. And though the past calls out again, his grip grows weak within that plane. In the blue drift on Armitage after rain. Cracked his window with emotion slow and bright. Sounded like a blessing carried softly in the light. And the sunlight through the drifting blue on my skin, turning old unspoken hearted into calm I let begin. The organ hum behind me like a truth bowl, low and sweet, while guitar notes trace the whispers where my storms and healing meet. I breathe the drifting coolness till it's settled in my bones. Sometimes morning drift restores what troubled nights have overthrown. In the blue morning drift rolling down Armitage after rain, I felt release from hidden strain. Every doubt that left a stain softened in that cool refrain. And though the past calls out again, his grip grows weak within that plane. In the blue drift on Armitage after rain. As the sunlight claimed the treetops and the mist began to fade, I felt a gentleness returning in the peace the morning made. And I stepped into the daylight with a heart more free, sane. In the blue morning driven rolling down Armitage after rain. Fullerton lay shining in a hush of golden peace, a quiet on the pavement where the night's concerns release. The streetlights caught the morning with a shimmer soft and thin, and the rooftops held a brightness that invited calm within. I stepped where old anxieties had lingered in my chest, where the weight of restless season never let my spirit rest. But the golden quiet settling on the road before my sight felt like dawn was softly saying, you made it through the night. In the golden quiet settling over Fullerton after rain, I felt my heartbeat lose its strain. Every sorrow's last remain softened in that warm refrain. And though the past repeats its pain, its pull grows faint and golden frame. In the quiet on Fullerton cyclist glided gently with a rhythm slow and kind. Sounded like assurance drifting steady through my mind. And the sunlight on the windows cast a delicate sunrise, turning long forgotten burdens into softer, clearer skies. The organ glowed behind me like a vow, both deep and warm, while guitar notes trace the calmness that arrives after a storm. I breathe the silent brightness till it's settled in my bones. Sometimes quiet brings the truth your weary spirit postpones. In the golden quiet
felt my heartbeat lose its strain. Every sorrow's last remain softened in that warm refrain. And though the past repeats its pain, this pool grows faint in golden frame. In the quiet on Fullerton. After rain, I felt my heartbeat lose its strength. Every sorrow's last remain softened in that warm refrain. And though the past repeats its pain, this pool grows faint in golden frame. In the quiet Fullerton after rain. As the daylight stretched more certain and the breeze grew soft and sweet, I felt a gentleness returning underneath my steady feet. And I walked into the morning with a hope I can sustain. In the golden quiet settling over Fullerton after rain. Montrose laying quiet with a mist of blue and silver, a drifting breath of coolness carrying peace that felt delivered. The awnings dripped in rhythm with a tender morning grace, and the fading storm light shimmered on the wet ground, shining face. I walk where troubled thinking once had tangled up my chest, where the shadows of old heartache left my courage dispossessed. But the silver mist descending eased the trembling in my bones, like the morning whispered softly, you have never walked alone. In the blue silver mist drifting down Montrose after rain, I felt release from deep domain. Every fear that clung in vain softened in that cool refrain. And though the past may still remain, its weight dissolves in softened green. In the silver mist on
Montrose after rain. A passerby moved slowly, with a calm both warm and slight. Sounded like the voice of healing, carried gently through the light. In the clouded glow around me, cast forgiveness on my skin, turning years of hell confusion into something soft within. The organ hummed behind me, like a vow both low and pure, while guitar notes traced the coolness I had longed so long to endure. I breathed the misty stillness till it settled in my bones. Sometimes silver mist becomes the peace your wounded heart condone. In the blue silver mist, drifting down Montrose after rain, I felt release from deep domain. Every fear that clung in vain softened in that cool refrain. And though the past may still remain, its weight dissolves in softened grain. In the silver mist on Montrose after rain. As the sunrise spread more certain and the silver faded thin, I felt a strength I thought I'd lost come rising warm from deep within. And I stepped into the morning with a calm I can maintain. In the blue silver mist drifting down Montrose after rain. Montrose laying quieted with a mist of blue and silver, a drifting breath of coolness carrying peace that felt delivered. The honest drifting rhythm with a tender morning grace, and the fading stormlight shimmered on the wet ground shining face. I walk where troubled thinking once had tangled up my chest, where the shadows of old heartache left my courage dispossessed. But the silver mist descending eased the trembling in my bones, like the morning whispered softly, you have never walked alone. In the blue silver mist drifting down Montrose after rain, I felt release from deep domain. Every fear that clung in vain softened in that cool refrain. And though the past may still remain, its weight dissolves in softened grain. In the silver mist on Montrose after rain. as the sunrise spread more certain and the silver faded thin. I felt a strength I thought I lost come rising warm from deep within. And I stepped into the morning with a calm I can maintain, in the blue silver mist drifting down Montrose after rain. Edgewater lay glowing in a breath of rolling gold, a soft and warming whisper, drifting gentle, drifting bold. The lake breeze pulled the sunlight through the alleys, calm and clear, and the pavement caught its shimmer like a truth I long to hear. I stepped where hidden worry once had tangled in my chest, where the weight of silent seasons never let my mind find rest. But the golden breath that touched me eased the tightness in my bones, like the morning whispered softly, you don't face your storms alone. In the golden breath rolling through Edgewater after rain, felt release from inner strain. Every hurt I tried in vain softened in that warm refrain. And though shadows still remain, their hold grows weak in golden vein. In the breath on Edgewater after rain. Jogger passed behind me with a rhythm slow and kind, sounded like forgiveness drifting softly through my mind. And the sunlight through the trees drew a shimmer on my skin, turning long-kept silent burdens into calm that's seeping in. The organ glow behind me like a vow both soft and true, while guitar notes trace the warmth that only quiet mornings brew. I breathe the rolling brightness till it settled in my bones. Sometimes golden breath reveals the truths your restless heart postpones.
after rain. I felt released from inner strain. Every hurt I tried in vain softened in that warm refrain. And those shadows still remain, their hold grows weak in golden vein. In the breath on Edgewater after rain, as the sunshine reached the shoreline and the day reclaimed its tune, I felt a steady strength returning, gentle like a quiet boom. And I walked into the morning with a peace I could sustain. In the golden breath rolling through Edgewater after rain. Albany Park lay breathing in a hush of softened blue. The stillness on the sidewalks where the night began anew. The air felt cool and tender as it settled on my face, and the fading scent of rainfall traced the edges of the place. I stood where long frustration once had tightened in my chest, where the weight of hitting heartache never let my soul find rest. But the blue stillness settling slowly eased the burden in my bones, like the morning whispered gently, you've outlasted what was known. In the blue stillness settling into Albany Park after rain, I felt my weary heart regain. Every doubt that caused me pain faded in that calm domain, and though old fears still might remain, their grasp grows weak in morning's grain. In the stillness of Albany Park after rain. Passerby moved softly with a pace both warm and slow. Sounded like acceptance drifting lightly in its glow. And the light upon the river cast a shimmer thin and true, turning long-held restless memories into something soft and blue. The organ rose behind me like a vow both sure and deep, while guitar notes trace the quiet where my shadows used to creep. I breathe the cool blue silence till it settled in my bones. Sometimes stillness brings the peace your troubled nights postpone. I felt my weary heart regain. Every doubt that caused me
grass grows weak in morning spring, in the stillness of Albany Park after rain. As the sunrise made its entrance and the shadows slipped away, I felt a comfort I'd been needing, blooming gently with the day. And I stepped into the morning with a soul no longer strained, in the blue stillness settling into Albany Park after rain. Humboldt Park lay quiet, the calm began to rise, a golden sweep of sunlight pulling shadows from the skies. The lagoon held its reflection like a promise warm and new, and the drips from waking treetops felt like healing breaking through. I stepped where older worries once had settled in my chest, where the storms inside my thinking never gave my heart a rest. But the golden calm above me eased the tension in my bones, like the morning whispered softly, you're no longer walking stones. And the golden calm rising over Humboldt Park after rain, I felt my trembling heart regain every sorrow's deep refrain, softened in that warm domain. Doubts still leave a stain, their weight dissolves in morning's vein, in the calm on Humboldt Park after rain. A jogger passed the water with a rhythm slow and kind, sounded like renewal, moving gently through my mind. And the sunlight on the benches cast a shimmer thin and sweet, turning long-held wounded memories into strength beneath my feet. The organ breathes behind me like a valve bowl strong and warm, while guitar notes trace the brightness left behind by every storm. I breathe the rising stillness till it's settled in my bones. Sometimes calm becomes the truth, your restless spirit postpones. Humboldt Park after rain, I felt my trembling heart regain every sorrow's deep refrain, softened in that warm domain. And though old doubts still leave a stain, their weight dissolves in morning's vein. In the calm on Humboldt Park after rain. Found the treetops and the day drew nearer still, I felt a warmth I thought I lost return with quiet, steady will. And I stepped into the morning with a hope I could maintain. In the golden calm rising over Humboldt Park after rain. Andersonville lay breathing in a drifting echo blue, a coolness in the storefronts where the sunlight filtered through. The brickwork shone with shimmer from the night's receding rain, and the morning held a softness that uncluttered all my pain. I walk where heavy memories once had tightened in my chest, where the echo of my past mistakes refused to let me rest. But the blue echo drifting gentle eased the trembling in my bones, like the morning whispered softly, you're no longer facing stone. In the blue echo drifting through Andersonville after rain, I felt my restless fears unchained, every sorrow's old refrain softened in that cool terrain. And though the past still leaves a stain, its voice grows thin in gentle strain. In the blue echo, Andersonville after rain. A baker opened shuttered slow and sweet, sounded like a quiet kindness tapping lightly at my feet. And the sunlight through the window cast a brightness calm and true, turning grief I long had carried into something touched by blue. The organ hummed behind me like a vow both low and sure, while guitar notes traced the coolness I had prayed my heart could endure. I breathed the drifting stillness till it settled in my bones. Sometimes echoes change their voice when healing finally condoned. Through Andersonville after rain, I felt my restless fears unchained. Every sorrow's old refrain softened in that cool terrain. And though the past still leaves a stain, its voice grows thin in gentle strain. As the morning grew more certain and the last mist slipped away, I felt the peace I thought impossible arising with the day. And I stepped into the sunlight with a strength I could maintain. Andersonville after rain. Chicago lay unfolding in a gold blue morning sweet, a horizon soft and shining where the night fell fast asleep. The rooftops breathe out shimmer and the lake return its glow. while the steam above the sidewalks rose like blessings moving slow. I stood where silent heartache once it carved its heavy mark, where the storms of sleepless seasons left me wandering in the dark. But the gold blue line before me eased the trembling in my bones, like the dawn was softly saying, you're no longer walking stones. In the gold blue horizon, opening over Chicago after rain, I felt my soul realign again. Every sorrow's old campaign faded in that bright domain, and though the past still calls in vain, its voice grows faint in morning's grain. In the gold blue line, or Chicago after rain. A train rolled down the shoreline with a Humboldt low and warm, sounded like the word forgiving every worry, every storm. And the sunlight on the skyline cast a glow both deep and true, turning years of hell confusion into something fresh and new. The organ swelled behind me like a promise firm and kind, while guitar notes traced the pathway where my peace returned to mine. I breathed the rising brilliance till it settled in my bones. Sometimes the horizon opens wide, the truths your restless heart postpones. Chicago after rain, I felt my soul realign again. Every sorrow's old campaign faded in that bright domain, and though the past still calls in vain, its voice grows faint in morning's grain. In the gold blue line, oh, Chicago after rain. As the sunlight crowned the towers and the lake shone silver gold, I felt courage I'd forgotten settling warm inside the cold. And I walked into the future with a hope I could sustain. In the gold blue horizon, open heaven. Chicago after rain.